you a ton of training, but what I want you to do is call everybody you know, call all your friends and family. And unfortunately, all your friends and family already know you and know you're a brand new real estate agent and don't really trust you. And then they throw you on phones, and phones right now are really hard. Everybody's calling. There's a lot of dials. And so for me, I have a background in door-to-door. I had sold alarm systems door-to-door for about 8 years prior to getting into real estate. And I thought, man, I made a lot of money doing that. I don't know of a door-to-door realtor, but I want to give this a shot. So I want to go knock on doors, have a face-to-face conversation with people, and be able to talk to them because I'm essentially at the appointment. So that is what I did. So my first month I went out, I sold 10 houses my first month. And it's crazy. I didn't even know what I was doing. So I took month 2 off and decided to figure out real estate. It's like, man, I got to learn what PRs are. I've got to learn about appraisals and inspections and all this stuff because now I have way too much business and have no clue what to do. Screwed up all of my paperwork. Month 3, I went back and sold 14 homes. And then I had to take month 4 off again because I was still messing everything up. So part-time, my first year, I sold 89 homes. And you guys, it was just a testament that if you got in front of people face-to-face and help them understand what the real estate market's doing, what the value of their home is, and how they can connect with you directly because you're there. You're able to share your personality. You are there and able to show them how professional you are and why they should use you and give them a lot of statistical data. They trust you and they end up going with you. It's fabulous.
Right. Well, you're already there and they already have a connection standing in front of you. They can feel your energy. They already kind of know, like, and trust you because you're standing there. I mean, you really do have your foot in the door, so to speak, for lack of a better word. I mean, you're standing right there. So I know for a lot of people, it's definitely out of their comfort zone. And it's specifically not something that I've ever done when I created my real estate business. I certainly know a lot of people do it. You've built a tremendous business, which is why we're talking today, doing just that. So that's amazing. And what's your most funniest story with, doing the door-to-door in your personal experience? Like, have you been chased out of a yard by like a crazy dog? Like, has somebody called the police on you? Like, what's happened with your door-to-door?
Guys, there are so many stories that you're going to get. And I think some of the funniest ones you get, because you never know who's going to answer the door. I've had people answer the door completely naked, and you're just like, whoa, this is not what I'm expecting. And they're not bashful about it. And it's like, that just threw me off. Where do I start my pitch now? Other times, I've had people that will tell you everything that you did not want to know about the neighborhood. In fact, I feel like I know the neighborhood a million times better than the people that live there. Because those chatty Cathys that will tell you everything that is going on, from divorces to people that are struggling in their marriage to, people that need to move for a job or people that are going to lose their house because they can't afford their payment anymore. And so you learn a lot, but it is never a dull moment when you're knocking doors. It is so.
I love that. We've had that happen, right? As going on listing appointments in general. People are in the shower, people aren't expecting you, their dog goes absolutely ballistic on you. So we've definitely all experienced that in our real estate world. I just think it's awesome how you have created something in such a specific niche. How did you figure out where the best places were to prospect?
Oh, Dana, great question. So a lot of people try to target the multi-million-dollar homes. You guys, multi-million-dollar homes don't transition very fast. That is usually their forever home, right? And also, it's not something when you list it that's going to sell very fast. So my strategy that I built was go to high turnover neighborhoods, condos, townhomes, because guess what? There's 5 or 6 of them for sale at all times in there. And if you can go build a brand in there, everybody knows everybody because it's young couples, typically starter families, and they're going to refer you. And the cool thing about that, if you sell a $300,000 condo, they buy a $500,000 to $600,000 home, and that's still not there forever.
Right.
So they help them sell that $500,000 to $600,000 home and get them into that next step up. So you're getting 4 or 5 transactions out of every one of them, and they sell quickly. So the minute you put a for sale sign up in a $300,000 condo, the buyer pool is so huge that everybody is able to afford that, and they sell quickly, and then you can jump up to that next level. So start in this starter homes, and that will help business quickly and sell a lot of it.
That's great advice. And that builds you such a great referral base too. You've basically got a built-in client for life that way.
You do.
And I have, when I started with the lower price point homes. And honestly, that was a big part of my bread and butter for my business the entire time. I think there's people that get into the business and they see $1 million listing and they see, these crazy luxury properties, but luxury doesn't always mean better clients, and it doesn't mean more sales. And the expiration rate at a lot of those properties is extremely high compared to a property that's maybe under $1 million. So I love that idea of building a solid referral base where you can count on your original sphere of influence to be able to re-recommend you over and over again, and then continue to use you over and over again throughout their lifetime as their lifestyles change and they, their reasons for moving change. They're going to have you with them every step of the way. So I love that. That's huge. So, I'm a big social media person. Tell me a little bit about how you built your presence on YouTube specifically and why that platform.
So I went to YouTube simply because I can give content that's lasting, that people can go in and watch. I feel like one of the biggest problems in our industry right now is a lack of training. Mm-hmm. And people don't know where to go to find good content. So the first thing I thought was, if I would need to know how to do something, and I got to watch a video because I'm not good at reading and understanding what they say. And so it's like, I'm going to YouTube it. Mm-hmm. And everybody says that, right? So we're going to YouTube this to learn how to do something. So I'm like, I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to build that platform and I'm going to post tons and tons of content. You guys, one of the coolest things that I can say is when someone gets on my YouTube channel, because I've got over 400 videos now, just Dwayne Richens, door-to-door realtor, but they go watch my content. And when they call me and say, I just closed 2 deals or my first deal door-to-door, just watching what you say to do, guys, that hits right here. That's where I get excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Now let's keep pushing you and helping you get to that next level. But I've got tons and tons of free content because I will prove to you that this works prior to you ever looking further into what I do.
Right. I love that. That's where we turn our passion into our purpose, right? And we feel that, that sense of significance with what we do. I mean, so much, you got the everyday grind and you do have the unappreciative clients from time to time. Having people come to you, especially other realtors, our peers, our colleagues, come to you and say, you've changed my life, or you changed my perspective on XYZ. That's why I do that's why I built my coaching program, was because I was answering so many questions on a daily basis and helping people, for free for so long. And I really just needed to monetize it. And I needed to be very useful of my time. And so I stepped back from everyday sales and I decided to create a coaching program where I focus on social media branding, content strategy, confidence, and video are 2 of the big things that people come to me for help. Sometimes it's not, hey, how do I fill out a contract or how do I sell a house? The people that come to me are not beginners. These are people that have been in business a long time. These are names that that feel like they need a change, or they don't know what they don't know about social media, positioning, brand strategy, how to get your content in front of 97% non-followers, right? So when you're able to help somebody that is already an expert in what they do, but they're not an expert in everything, just like I'm not an expert in everything, and I'll be the first to admit that, they're going to be more happy. They're going to be absolutely thrilled that they came across you. I've had people write me a message and say, you've changed my life. Your coaching program has changed my life. Not that you've changed my real estate business, but you've changed my life, because it's a confidence thing. It's a mindset thing. Some of these realtors that are top producers in their own way have never, ever taken anything in personal professional development ever. And I found that so shocking to me. Like, you've never taken any training. You've never read a personal or professional development book or an audio book or anything. And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you came to me, because I'll give you a little crash course in kind of everything. But it's really, for me, that's the ultimate fulfillment right there, is when you help other people get what they want. And that's what it's all about, right?
Completely agree. I think that, my motto is, you don't work for me, I work for you.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like when people go with a giving attitude first to help you succeed, it flourishes tenfold. I mean, if everybody had that mindset, we would not be selling such few homes as
Mm-hmm.
real estate agents in the industry. The majority are, hey, let me take my grab first. I'm going to be the top 1%. And they do not share. And
Mm-hmm.
so I love that you do that, Dana. And I fully believe, I mean, I am no expert at all. In fact, I know nothing about social media. So it's fun to learn from her because she knows everything about how to grow this. I mean, I didn't even know what a carousel was until just recently. So what you saw at the amusement park. But bottom line is, you've got to go learn from people that are the experts and willing to share and give you everything. The cool thing about my business is after 2 years, I was able to stop prospecting completely. And I had such good systems in place that it was taking me about an hour and a half to run my business. And I was selling 30 million plus a year and have for the last 7 years since I stepped out of prospecting. So 2 years of hard work. And guys, it was a grind.
Yeah.
But I was able to walk away from prospecting and now have plenty of time to give back, share, build, grow, coach, and help people get to that next level. I've trained the rookie of the year for 7 years straight now. Guys, I get more pride out of that than saying, oh yeah, I sold $30 million last year in real estate.
Exactly.
It's so
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people wonder why we do what we do. I mean, I had to take a significant step back to propel myself forward. I mean, that's a scary thing. Like, just stop selling houses where you've been selling houses your whole life. It wasn't the fulfillment of that was not there for me. I needed a next step. And it's like, how long am I going to go around on this hamster wheel doing the same thing every day? I loved what I did, and I still will sell houses, once in a while, and I still love my clients, but I have so much to give other people and so many experiences that I've had because I've pivoted in so many different markets, and I'm constantly reinventing myself. And that for me is fulfilling to me. So I wanted to be able to share how you can do that, how you can reinvent yourself, how you can step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes in this industry, a lot of times in this industry, we're forced to reinvent ourselves. So, COVID changed a lot of things for people. The market with not a lot of inventory changed a lot of things for people. Economy is obviously ever changing. If you're not learning to pivot in real estate constantly, and you're just on the choo-choo train of transactions, eventually you are going to burn out. If you don't find a way to create, basically work in your, on your business instead of in your business all the time, you're just going to have burnout eventually. So all of us have something, that if we've been in business for a while, we all have something we can share with other people. That's why I love like the mastermind so much. And I love meeting people like you, because we all have success in our own way. And it's when we kind of take a step back and say, hey, I don't know YouTube the way that you do. I barely used it. And I consider myself a social media guru. It's just not a platform that I'm familiar with. So, it's great that we can kind of share our expertise with each other and help each other elevate in those specific platforms, because you've really killed it there and you've built a tremendous business from it. So I applaud you with that. That's a totally different platform and a totally different layout than your Instagrams and your TikToks and your Facebooks and that sort of thing. So, what do you think is the most important thing that people need to consider when they're building their presence on YouTube? And I'm going to listen very closely because I'm doing the same thing. But it's certainly more educational videos and a lot of I would say more professionally put together videos than what you see as far as like reels are real, like raw, and carousels are obviously photos and things like that on social media. What do you think is important when building your YouTube presence?
I mean, for me, it was be genuine, be true, be honest, be straightforward, and be educational. People come to YouTube to learn. And so if you're going to post something, too many agents out there will only give you a snippet because they don't want to create competition. And I don't believe in that. I feel like there's an abundance mindset. If you give it all out there,
you're not a gatekeeper, in other words.
Right. So give all the content you can, because let's be real, many people won't ever use it. They'll go and they'll listen and they'll educate themselves, and they won't ever apply what they're doing. And even if they do, if I can help them be successful, I promise you, even if there was 100,000 door knockers in the United States, I would never see you on a door in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't matter how much competition I create.
Sure.
What I want to create is success. And that being said, if you're going to post on YouTube, lay it all out there. Let people have the best of you. Let them have as much information as they can. And then they will suck into that, get their first couple deals, and then want to really fine tune it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're going to post on YouTube, make sure you're giving all the details. If you're posting as a realtor to your clients, be genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to them in real life scenarios. Hey, I had this client. Here's some of the experiences we had. Here's what to watch for. These are things you need to think about when you go to purchase, buy, sell, and then create tons of content that is real and not the just funny stuff that people are chasing that they watch for 2 seconds. Create content they can learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you always want to provide value, right? And you want to provide value because people are looking for, how do you solve their problem? That is how people invest in you. They are looking for, how do you help them? Right. And if you can effectively convey what problem you solve for somebody, they're going to work with you. So they may not work with you that day and they may not work with you that month, but they are going to feel that authenticity that comes across through the platform. And they're going to start to know, like, and trust you even before they've met you in person or spoken to you on the phone. So, creating that authentic, consistent platform and be very clear on what it is that you do. That's one of the things that I coach on. When I go to people's social media and it is not clear to me within the first 1 to 2 seconds who they are, what they do, and what problem they solve, that is a very clear indication that they're not sure of their value proposition and they don't know how to effectively convey that. So that is something that I coach on as well, is, personal branding. What is your value proposition? What problem do you solve? And, I think that's important to have that consistency across your platform. And I love your page on YouTube because you're consistent. It's very clear what you do across all of your videos. It's not like you have a bunch of pictures on door knocking or videos on door knocking and then a video of you with your kids or whatever. It's consistent branding across the platform. So I think that is something that is important to think about when you're creating a brand, is to be consistent with your value proposition and what problem you solve and how you help other people either build their business, scale, or learn a new skill from you.
Well, and you have to do that. I have editors that do all my work for me, and they're phenomenal. They do a great job. But my job is to create content that's going to help move the needle forward for you guys as agents. So I'm posting 2 long form training videos and 4 shorts a week. And so there's constantly content coming to you. And I would dare even say this and be bold enough to say this. If you're struggling to get deals, go watch my channel. And if you'll apply what I teach you, you will have money coming into your bank account. I'm that confident because the neat thing about door knocking is it's now business. The first 2 years, I didn't even have a CRM. If you weren't ready to transact within 30 days, I was moving on. I was finding somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And there's enough people I could talk to. And the cool thing is with doors, when people are home, there's lights on, there's cars in the driveway. So I'm not, cold calling, waiting for someone to pick up and then shocked when they pick up. I'm targeting houses that are home. Right. And there's strategy behind all of that. So I can get in front of 60 to 70 people a day, face to face. And as long as you can do that, I don't care if you're the worst salesperson in the world. If you can show up with a smile on your face, be positive, and share something about real estate with them, you will find someone that says, oh my gosh, Dwayne, I'm so glad you knocked on my door today. We've been looking for a real estate agent and we didn't even know who to call.
Mm-hmm.
You will find laydowns is what I call them, because it doesn't matter what real estate agent knocked on that door. As long as they had a heartbeat, they were going to get that deal.
Right.
And so consistency, even with that, there is no way you can't succeed.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I think people's natural instinct, for the most part, is to help others. Right. So I think their natural instinct is, yes, sometimes we may be annoyed when somebody knocks on our door, but in the end, they're obviously there for a reason. So they're there thinking they can help you, but how can you help them? Maybe you're not selling your house, but maybe you know somebody that is, and you're like, oh, hey, call this person. They're looking for a realtor. Or oh, my friend's son just got into real estate. Would you be interested in talking to him, maybe to bring him onto your brokerage or something? So I think that there is certainly other opportunities than maybe just getting the listing, of building rapport, maybe asking them what they do for a living, or if you see like maybe they're a handyman or something and you see a truck in the driveway, ask them if there's any way that, you can get a card or something from them. So I did have a door knocker show up at my house here in North Carolina. They were with a brokerage that I'm very familiar with, and they were, I would say, pretty young and pretty new. And when we asked them where they live right around the corner. So it was like, oh, well, I'm a realtor too. We just moved here, so you just make that connection. I think your natural ability for the most part is to help other people and get an understanding, because in the end, we're all just trying to do the best we can, right? We're all just trying to do the best we can. And for the most part, the majority of us are trying to help others succeed and build each other up. That is, I think, at least the majority of the people that I surround myself with.
Completely agree. And the cool thing with door-to-door is there is zero competition. It's not like you're calling a FISBO or expired or cold calling or any of that. Even down to social media, there's a lot of people that do social media. So you have to keep up with what others are doing and how it looks. And Dana can teach you how to beat all your competition through her courses and stuff, but there's competition. With door-to-door, there are rarely do I knock on a door that they've ever said, we've never seen a real estate agent knock on doors before. This is really cool.
Yeah.
So it's really needed to stand out and be different.
Well, that's a great point too. It's not like, with purchasing leads, which, oh my gosh, never buy, like, people should not be buying leads anymore because it's so oversaturated. And you should be able to learn a skill that will have clients coming to you, or pick a niche and differentiate yourself in some way. I think that's a great point that you make, is that it's not like you're going door to door and then another realtor's right behind you an hour later, and then another realtor's right behind you an hour later. Like, you really did find a niche. First of all, people that are successful do things that other people don't want to do. So you're doing something that other people don't want to do. They do not want to be a door knocker. But you've built a tremendous business from doing that. Success is built by doing things over and over again consistently that other people are not willing to do. And people will say that they're willing to do it, but they're not really, because they'll stick with it for like a week or, a couple days, and they're just not consistent, and they don't treat it like a business. So the fact that you've been able to build this on such a cool niche is great. Again, just learning a skill instead of buying leads. When I hear people say to me, how many leads does your company hand out? So you're basically like an order taker. You don't really know who you are, what value you provide, because if you did that, you wouldn't have to buy leads. You'd have people coming to you. And that's what I have in the Elevated Agent, is a program that teaches you how to have clients coming to you, because you're able to differentiate yourself from every other realtor out there. And you're able to consistently and effectively convey who you are and what problem you solve. If I was to hire somebody and they don't really have a brand and they don't know who they are, I don't know that I would feel comfortable hiring them or, working with them, because they're not able to attract business. Instead, they're paying for leads to come in. I just don't think that's a way to build a viable business anymore. It worked for a little while. I mean, I definitely have my fair share of buying leads, but I haven't bought leads in a very long time. And I don't teach buying leads in my coaching program. It's a way to be able to enhance your value proposition and to be able to position yourself as the go-to authority in your market, so that clients are coming to you and you are not chasing clients. When people say to me, well, Mike, I need a brokerage that provides leads. No, you need to effectively understand what your brand is and build off of that, and be able to know how to work the certain outlets that are going to position you in front of people that are looking for what it is that you offer. So
Dana, Eric said it on the comments here. He gave the exact agreement here. He's like, facts.
I love it. Hi, Eric. How are you?
So the neat thing that we see with leads is somebody makes a lot of money. It's a lead generator. And the person buying the leads will never be self-sufficient. They're waiting for that fish to fall on their plate to eat it, but they're never going to learn how to catch one. So Dana, you could not be more correct. Never, ever, ever do that. Get out and learn how to create them. Guys, when I stopped knocking doors, it's been 7 years now, I was at a point where I could convert every 7 doors that I talked to into a listing. So you're never going to get that sharp unless you have experience over and over and over again. And once you do that, holy cow, sky's the limit. You choose your income. You're not waiting for someone to hand you a lead. And in most cases, your team leader, whoever that is taking 50 to 60% of it.
Right.
Don't do it. Go learn how to generate your own leads. It's free. On social media, go door knock with me. Learn your art, your trade, your value, get experience, and win. Don't rely on anybody else at all.
100%. Because though, teams, people leave brokerages, teams fall apart. Conflict happens within, either a team or a brokerage. Demographics changes. There could be another realtor that comes in and they live in your neighborhood and they're just more connected and more in people's face than you are. So you need to be able to build an unshakable brand. And that's what I teach in my coaching program, is how to be able to persevere in any market. And I just wrote an article for a magazine called The Power of the Pivot. Learning how to pivot and constantly be recreating yourself and adding another skill to your skill set is going to position you as a go-to authority. And relying on lead sources, you're an order taker. That's really what it is. You're an order taker. So you're an employee at that point. You're not building a business. When you are waiting for somebody to hand you leads, you are an order taker and an employee of whether it's your team lead, your brokerage, whatever it is. We are independent contractors and we are building our own brand. And it's all about you. When you're your own realtor, it's all about you and your brand. So think about who you are, what your audience is, who are you trying to attract? What is your value proposition? Is your branding effectively conveying what it is that you offer on social media? Or is your branding inconsistent? Is it all over the place? Is it confusing to other people what you do? If your picture's not clear, your bio should be very clear in all of your platforms as far as who you are, what you do, and what exactly is your topic or your value proposition. So you do such a great job with that. And I applaud you. You've built a tremendous business on door knocking. And, you are willing to go out there and do what other people were not willing to do. And you are reaping the rewards of that. And that goes for anything. If you're not learning a new skill and you're not investing in yourself, yes, it costs money for coaching, for, people will go to conferences and people will go to seminars, but be very purposeful about the education that you're getting. Because just, randomly going to all of these seminars and all of these self-help things is great. I mean, certainly continue to do that. But be purposeful where you spend your time. Focus on high value activities that are going to give you the highest ROI. That's really what it comes down to. And, and don't be trading time for dollars. I mean, when you're trading time for dollars, you're you're in that employee mindset. You need to shift yourself to being a business owner. And that's really what it's all about. And I mean, when I think of you, I think of you as the door-to-door realtor. I don't think of you as whatever brokerage you're with, or, I don't even think of you as like your location. I think of you in the entire United States as a guy that has built an amazing business on door knocking. That's it. I don't put you down. I don't put you into I don't pigeonhole you into a certain demographic, right? Your niche is door knocking. You're the first person I'm going to call for if I want a speaker at a conference about how you've built this business, because it's just, it's the perfect niche in the sense of finding a niche. And you could have looked at that and said, well, gosh, do I want to am I pigeonholing myself, like with the limiting beliefs, right? And you didn't do that. You looked at this as a tremendous opportunity. So finding a niche and narrowing down what it is that you're trying to attract. I mean, you were looking for listings too is the way to go, really, when you're trying to build your business. And you were able to do that by just showing up at people's doors. I mean, I would think that, in my opinion, I would rather make a cold call where someone's going to hang up on me than someone's going to slam the door in my face. But I actually think that people are less likely to slam the door in your face when you're standing in front of them.
They are, especially if you question-based sell and you just genuinely care about them. That's all I teach, is how to question-based sell, to ask questions, to engage clients. I'm never the true door-to-door guy that they think, oh, he's such a pushy salesman, and he just shows up and is trying to push his agenda on me. You can't do that and be very successful.
For sure. I think that's across with everything. You know, you got to come from a place of providing value and not, you know, the pushy, hi, my name is mentality. You know, and I teach that in networking too. I think that's a really important trait to have. So, so I want to thank you so much for being on our live today. We're going to continue to do this a couple times a week as we both grow our businesses and our social media presence even more and bring values to real estate agents all over. So if you want to get in touch with Dwayne, how do people get in touch with you?
Easiest way is you can go to my website. It's just reald2d.com. That's D, the number 2d.com, door to door, or just find me on YouTube. I put my phone number everywhere on YouTube. I'll throw it out here again as well. You guys can contact me directly. But Door to Door Realtor, Dwayne Richens, Door to Door Realtor on YouTube. There's tons of stuff on there. And then I'll just give you my phone number. Everybody ready? Grab your pencil, paper. Here it is.
Go for it.
801-243-4544. Dana, if you want to throw that in the chat, then you guys could reach out to me. That's just 801-243-4544. But I'd love to help you guys get started and get growing your business. Any way that I can help, I'm here for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So much valuable information. And you have a book out there too. So
I do.
Yes, please share that.
Power of the Knock. I don't know if it's clear or not, but there we go. Power of the Knock.
I love it. Well, thank you very, very much for your time. For those of you that were joining us today, thank you so much for joining. My name's Dana Flanagan. I have the Elevated Agent Coaching Program. You can find me at danaflanagan.com. You can also go to elevateagentleads.com for my free training. And you can connect with me on any of these social platforms. If you are looking for personal coaching, please reach out to me. I can help you with your branding, your social media, your systemization, your funnels, your email sequences, and anything else that you are looking to enhance in your current real estate business. So I want to thank you guys all for being here on a Monday afternoon, and we will see you all very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.